Hey everybody. I decided to do a video. I haven't done one in a long time, but I decided to because there were just several things to talk about. And for people that don't like to read long emails, I didn't want you to get lost in the email and not read it. So I'm doing a quick video. Hopefully it will be quick. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you a rundown. I had emailed about going to Richmond on Tuesday. And so it was a little bit different than I thought. I thought it was like a big prayer meeting, but it ended up only 4 of us, but it was really good. And so we went down to Richmond during the gun control special legislative session. And so the good thing about it is we did pray as we walked, but we also did some lobbying. And so I found out how you do it because I've actually never done that before. And so that was really good. And so I'm happy to know about that. We got in the line, tons of NRA people down there, tons of Gun Owners of America. There was another big group of moms who were like they were for more gun control. So we had some interesting conversations in line. It was very civil, but interesting. And so we got in and we went to some of our Prince William County representatives, but none of them were in their office. So we just wrote notes and put them under their door so they would get it. And so then we watched part of the session and then we left. But anyway, the bottom line is that the Republicans very quickly voted down any discussion of gun control legislation, and they basically postponed it until November after the election. And so what they're wanting is these elections are super, super important because, we only have an extremely narrow margin in the state legislature. So if the Democrats get control, or I shouldn't even say Democrats, if even Republicans who don't tote the conservative line for things most of us are for, then will shift everything. And so this is like vitally important to get people who value, Second Amendment rights and who value pro-life and those sorts of things. It's super, super important to get them into office. So this election is really important. So they're counting on. The Republicans are basically, okay, so we postponed it, we did our job, and now it's up to the citizens to do your job, get out there, vote for, not just vote, but working campaigns and things like that to get people in that we need in. So now what I suggest everybody does is write your state senator and delegate. I have a website in the email. If you don't know who it is, you can just go, you put in your address, and at the top of the screen of the next page, it tells you who everybody is. You don't need to write your federal ones, just your state delegate and your state senator. And if the Republicans say, yay, thank you for supporting Second Amendment rights and postponing everything, and if they're a Democrat, then they're not very happy right now. And so you can just ask them to continue, as your constituent, to continue to support Second Amendment rights over gun control legislation and all that. So that's all in the email. The second thing is there was a big meeting for Israel and just about what's going on. I think Cindy went to it, so hopefully she can give us some details. But anyway, I got an email, which I've included on this. So it's actually interesting, a little tidbit that somebody that was there said that Senator Tim Kaine co-sponsored a bill with Senator Ted Cruz against anti-Semitism. So as much as we a lot of times don't like our Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, he actually did something that we should agree with on that front. So that was good. So I included all that information in the email. I also included a link to the Chinese church that they're being run out of. They're really, really under some serious persecution in China right now. The other thing is that the Epstein thing, this is huge. This is huge. I read about Epstein. It's been several years ago. So I kind of had some insight on some of the stuff that was going on and leaders and everything, and it's horrible, absolutely horrible. But this is big. And as I was getting ready for work this morning, I kept thinking we really need to be praying that any plans of the enemy come to nothing, and that they're dissolved, the breakdowns in communication and all that, that any plans, because one of the tactics that both sides use, but one of the tactics that's used is when anything like this comes out, then there's a catastrophic event, and then all things get diverted to that event, and everybody forgets about what's in the news right now. And so that's a typical thing, but this is huge, huge. So this is going to affect world leaders. It's going to affect our governmental leaders on both sides of the aisle, I'm sure. So it's really big. So I think that we really need to be praying about that. And the interesting thing is, when I got to work this morning, then Ann Smith had emailed me Cindy Jacobs' recent video, which came out like about 10 days ago. And I normally get her stuff, but I guess it went to junk mail. But her little video word of encouragement, I've attached it to the email, and she is feeling that we need to pray against something big, that, whether it be terrorism or something, that there's plots and plans, and we need to pray protection over the DC area, the monuments, the main cities, and things like that. And so when I saw the video, I thought that's interesting, because I had the thought this morning with regard to Epstein, but it's all with regard to some catastrophic event. And so not to say that fearfully or anything like that, it's more one of those things we just need to be aware of, because there are tactics that political sides use, and diversion is a big one. And when you're dealing with people who are being influenced by terror, then they don't really care what they're doing. And so, but we have authority. And so I just think that's one thing that we can do, is just pound the airwaves, the spiritual airwaves, with our prayers and protection for the United States, and breakdown of all communication, and breakdown of any plans and purposes, or any plans the enemy has to destroy or wreak havoc in any sort of way on the United States. So, and protection around the president and his family and all those people involved in this, because this is, and for truth and justice to prevail and come out. This really needs to come out even more. So that was it. I've included that link to Cindy Jacobs' video, and then I did make this really quick. And so I've also included the flyovers. When I was at the July 4th thing with the president and all the flyovers, I did a video of the Blue Angels. So they're just 2 quick videos, and it's really neat. So those are attached to the email. And then just a quick reminder, we have Prayer for the Nation Monday at 7 o'clock. And then I also attached some information about a meeting a lady is having at her house here in Gainesville. It's actually not far from my house. She's having a meeting in Gainesville, and it's a lady who is involved. She knows history. She understands our godly principles. It's about the importance of liberty, passing it on to the next generation. I've attached information. I am going to try to go. I RSVP'd that I would be there, but I am going out of town on vacation for 2 weeks next Thursday. So because it's Tuesday night, I may not be able to, if I'm still getting ready for vacation. So I'm planning on going, so we'll see. But anybody's invited. You just need to RSVP to Debbie Eaton, and her information is in the email that I sent. And then also, don't forget, this Saturday at Whole Word Fellowship in Vienna is the intercession meeting training session, and that looks really interesting. I think I kind of heard different people say they were probably going. I'm planning to be there. I'm not going to carpool because I'm getting ready for vacation, so I'm going to be doing some errands before and after. But if you do want to go, I'm happy to save seats. And if you just want me to let me know, I have no idea how busy it's going to be or anything like that. So it's from 10 to 1, and I included the information in on that. And I think that's it. I've tried to make this quick. It's 9 minutes and 50 seconds. So I think that's it. So I will see you guys either Saturday or Sunday at church or Monday at Prayer for the Nation. Tally ho! Have a good evening.